Hello Gemini, and welcome to your in-depth horoscope forecast for January for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now, as ever, I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect before diving deep in forensic detail to tell you what lies ahead. So please stay with me for that. Now, on the screen you can see your solar wheel for the start of January, and this shows a big emphasis of planets, a pack of planets in your 8th house. So that's going to be a big theme this month. But also see that you do have the Moon, Mars and the midpoint between the Sun and the Moon in the sign of Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign. So a relationship issue or how you connect to others is also going to be a big theme this month. Now, your ruling planet is of course Mercury, and that's going to go into the sign of Aquarius on the 2nd, which is a sign that it's very comfortable with. It's exalted in this sign, but it is going retrograde on the 14th. So if you are planning any travel, I do feel that it needs to be with the thought in mind that things can change. There will be a real need for flexibility. Now, of course, Saturn is in your 9th house as well. So that's going to keep you probing and trying to get to the bottom of what your inner truth is throughout 2022. But it is squaring with Uranus. A resistance to embracing your more psychological side can lead to stress. So the more open you are to dive in deep, which is what this 8th house energy is about at the start of the year, very Scorpionic, the more that you can gain. Now, there is a mighty standoff between the Sun and Pluto, and on the other side of the heavens, the full moon, which occurs on the 17th. If there are some financial disparities in your situation, or someone's not being very fair over a joint situation or a business matter, it really could fire you up to go on the front foot to protect your situation over the following 2 weeks. The Sun's move on the 20th into your sister sign of Aquarius is to be welcomed. That can see an opening up of your situation. But please stay with me for the deeper insight to your situation. But if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you want to get your personal forecast for year 2022, you can do so by clicking on the link beneath this video and getting the character analysis and 30% off. If you order in 21, you get the rest of the year free. If you order later in January, you'll get a full 12 months on that point. Gain searing insights as to what this new year will hold for you based on your individual astrology. So Gemini, welcome to your monthly horoscope for January. So, as this month begins, there's a big clustering of energy in the sign of Capricorn, which is very much about transformations. And it's where we feel things deeply. It can be about very invested situations, be it financially, emotionally, or even romantically. But it can be where things make way. So, a very phoenix-like part of your situation. So I think that there are going to be some changes ahead for you. But the interesting thing is that Mercury, your ruler, although it moves into Aquarius on the 2nd, it's actually in shadow in the sign of Mercury the day before, the first day. So the 9th house can be about contracts. So if you are thinking about a contract or a business relationship, I think that there can be quite a lot of talking, negotiating that's going to go on. It's not going to go all forwards in quite the straightforward way that you might want, but actually that can all turn out to be for the best in the end, because on the 14th, Mercury goes into retrograde, and on the 26th, it returns back into the sign of Capricorn. So you can see you may be talking about something that's exciting, but then there may be a need to rethink some of the elements of this. But the new moon, which occurs on the 2nd, does forge a sparkling and positive angle to Uranus. But Uranus is in your 12th house, and it's been causing some mischief over the last year for you. And it does right angle with Saturn again at the start of this new year and this new month. So important when it comes to finding your personal truth, that you are embracing the more psychological dimension of life, reality, and your own self, because you're a brilliant communicator, but sometimes we can get caught up in our ideas and not stay quite grounded. So staying grounded is going to be a very important theme for all Gemini folk right throughout 2022. But there is a quite delightful link between Venus and also Neptune right at the start of this year. This is quite a mystical alliance. Venus in the 8th house can be very good for finance. Perhaps some money is going to come to you. Perhaps it's going to come from the way you imagine things. If you're someone who's very good with photography, with film, with healing, providing services that have a very personal relating dimension to them, yet they do have that spiritual component, you can do fantastically well. Now also publishing might be something else that is going to be very important to Gemini people this year, because of the role of Mercury, but also because of Saturn, and then later this month the Sun on the 20th joining up in the sign of Aquarius. But Jupiter, the planet that governs publishing, right at the start of this year has nibbled its way into the sign of Pisces, which for you can be very much to do with work. So that is a very fortunate portent. It is in a right angle with the North Node in your sign. The North Node is going to be moving on the 18th of this month into the sign of Taurus, which is more psychological for you. But I think the way I'd look at this is there may be something that you want to share with people that is in some way deeper information, more psychological information, help people to unlock the pathway ahead. Your powers of expression and communication can be enriched hugely by the North Node in the 12th house and the continuing journey of Uranus, as long as you can allow yourself to embrace its sometimes destructive influence. After all, Taurus is the planet of reality, it's the planet of foundations, but and maybe Uranus isn't very happy there, it is in full, but it is the planet of truth. So it's bringing some deeper truths into the open, and you can make that work for you. Now, the Sun is going to be joining up with Pluto in week 2 of this month, and that's going to be intense. But it's also going to see on the 17th, when we have the full moon in the sign of Cancer, the moon being opposite the Sun and Pluto. This is going to be like a mini-me of that eclipse series that we went through a few years ago. Maybe it is that you can find yourself having a bit of a squabble with someone over a financial matter. You may feel that this is a little unseeming thing to get into, but the Sun's passion with Pluto is not to be dismissed. And if you feel that your value is not being recognized by someone in the following 2 weeks, you won't hold back from really asserting your boundaries in a very firm way. The 20th sees the Sun going into Aquarius, and if it is possible, depending on the restrictions that we're all dealing with, that are all changing all of the time, you may set up some travel plans. But on the 24th, Mars powers into an area that it loves being in, the sign of Capricorn. It really is genuinely exalted here, it really shines. So if there is business talent that you've got that you really want to bring into play even more, it really can shine with the help of Mars over the following 6 weeks. The 29th sees Venus end its retrograde, but that doesn't mean to say it's not in a glorious alliance with Uranus the last 2 weeks of the month, because it is. And again, maybe some secrets are going to come into the open, and this time it could be very much to do with your love life. So quite a psychological dimension to your situation this month. There can be ebbs and flows. Care is needed around contracts. I do see some publishing or higher educational opportunities, travel where COVID rules allow. But for all of us, a need to stay very flexible. But I think at the root of all this is a need to connect to others, or one person in particular, in a very meaningful way. Wishing you all the best for January. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye for now.